Ohio gozaimasu, I could say. I've been in Japan for the past 2 weeks, and I'm glad to be back. Good morning. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast of CATEX TV coming to you from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, August 26, 2008. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda. In Mexico City, it's 9:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX TV. We have one breaking news story that's come in since we put the edition to bed. U.S. consumer confidence incredibly rose during the month of August. This is the second consecutive month of gains, but the level remains relatively low and job concerns persist. This is according to the Conference Board. The August consumer confidence level rose to 56.9% from a July reading of only 51.9%. So that's somewhat interesting news. And now to our main news. This is a hurricane story. Rapidly growing Hurricane Gustav heads for a collision with Haiti sometime today. The storm is also on a track to slice along the south coast of Cuba sometime later this week, and it's probably going to grow into a Category 3 hurricane. Forecasters are saying that by the time it hits Haiti, it will be hitting speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. American Airlines has canceled all flights in and out of Port-au-Prince, the country's capital. Could we bring up that map again, please? If you notice, we have a couple of other storms that are brewing about in the area. Gustav is obviously the red twirler there in the middle. The tropical low, which is in yellow, has less than a 25% chance of developing into a hurricane. The orange, which is further off to the east, has a 50% chance. And on a broader scale satellite view, there are two other storms off to the east between the Americas and the Cape Verde Islands, both of which are marked in orange as well. So we'll keep an eye on them because they could be developing into something. In news from Florida, the Florida State Insurance Commissioner Kevin McCarty said yesterday that he plans to reject a 47% increase requested by State Farm. Trying to justify the price jump, State Farm said their expenses are increasing. That's as the company continues dropping policies in Florida and no longer sells new property policies statewide. The proposed increase would have been as high as 112% in parts of Broward County. Commissioner McCarty's decision is in sync with the state's effort to curb property insurance prices that have tripled in some cases after hurricanes in 2004 and 2005. Not to miss the boat, Florida Governor Charlie Crist said last month, "It's appalling that State Farm would ask for that. I hope that regulators would reject that." State Farm Florida insurance officials told the State Insurance Department during a hearing earlier this month in Tallahassee that the increase would pay for, among other things, more backup storm coverage and higher marketing and advertising costs. They also said that they saw a significant drop in premiums because of a state law that requires insurers to provide discounts for homes that are upgraded to become more hurricane resistant. Overall, the state listed 23 reasons for denying the increase. The company has 3 weeks to ask for an administrative hearing to fight the state's action. The State Farm representative said we will review all of our options and take the best course aimed at protecting our Florida policyholders. In Southeast Asia, a strong earthquake this morning shook central Indonesia and caused tall buildings to sway in Jakarta. A tsunami alert had been issued. The quake had a preliminary magnitude of 6.6, although the U.S. Geological Survey later lowered that to 5.8. The tsunami warning was lifted after offshore sensors indicated no drop in water levels, which would indicate an imminent tidal wave. The USGS, as I said, put the quake at a 5.8. In the United States, an American appeals court yesterday threw out a $241 million restitution award against the French company Artemis, resulting from a lawsuit over the purchase of assets from the failed executive life insurance company. The appeals court ordered a retrial of the damages phase. The California Insurance Commissioner's lawsuit had accused Artemis, which is controlled by the French billionaire Francois Pinault, and French banking, insurance, and government entities of conspiring to circumvent California and U.S. law to buy a junk bond portfolio in the state sale of Executive Life in 1991. The other defendants, including Credit Lyonnais and insurer MAAF, a French government entity, and a number of individuals, all settled the case, paying a total of about $700 million in damages. The Dow Jones Industrial average is up a little bit now, up about 24 points as we lead into our commercial break.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity. Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
From prehistoric time to today, man's progress has been marked by his ability to fashion tools and use them to his advantage. From early humans making tools from stone, man evolved and was soon trading with other men. Money evolved, and tools such as the abacus to handle complex money transactions were developed. By the end of the 19th century, machines such as the cash register began to appear. 100 years later, we have even better computer-driven machines which track stock, change prices, and automatically reorder. Meanwhile, the reinsurance industry has failed to embrace man's drive for progress. The reinsurance industry today would be as familiar to practitioners from the 1800s as it is to modern underwriters. An underwriter or broker from 1800 would settle nicely into today's business. That is, until now. For the reinsurance industry, pivot point changes everything. Soon it will be understood that the period before pivot point was as dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't believe. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
And in China, now that the pomp and circumstance of the Olympic Games has been completed, we're back to more of the same news. This morning, explosions at a chemical plant in the southwestern part of the country killed at least 4 people and injured at least 50 more. It also prompted the evacuation of thousands of nearby residents. The first explosion occurred at about 6 a.m. this morning in a city in Guangxi province named Yizhou. According to the official Chinese news service Xinhua, 17 people are still missing. The explosions continued throughout the day until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, spreading fire over a nearly 110,000 square foot area. The government started evacuating more than 10,000 people in case of further blasts. A fireman was quoted as saying, "All I know is that it might be a serious blast. Many of the fire brigades of nearby towns have been called in to help." Rescuers at the scene heard several more blasts as thick smoke enveloped the plant. According to Xinhua, with explosions continuing and a fire raging, it is quite treacherous for rescuers since there are huge hidden dangers amidst the blasts, along with leaks of toxic gases such as ammonia and formaldehyde. The plant is in a development zone of Yizhou City and mainly produces chemicals for adhesives and paints. It is owned by the Guangxi Guanghai Chemical Company. A little bit more news from the Madrid air crash of last week. A woman who walked away from last week's plane crash in Madrid with barely a scratch said that she believed that the plane lacked power during takeoff. This corroborates other accounts of survivors of what may have gone wrong in the disaster that killed 154 people. According to Beatriz Reyes, "I guess I did realize that when the plane was going to take off, perhaps it was not going too fast."